Hello, my lovely students. How are you all? A very hearty welcome to this mind-blowing platform, Physics Wallah. My name is Nupur Sharma, and today we are going to learn how to write a letter. See, a lot of students ask me, why do we still learn to write letters? You know, we can send messages, we send email these days. Who writes letters, and why is it so important to learn the letters? Well, we are going to get all the answers, okay? Now, let's start. See, first of all, we'll have an overview, then I'll tell you the format of the letter, yes, how to write the format and how to score full marks in the format. Today, if you look in the class very carefully, if you learn everything very carefully, you'll understand that how I can score full marks, how I cannot make a mistake. You know, you should not give any chance to your teacher to, so that she can point out at your mistakes. So today we are going to clear all these things. Then in the end, we are going to discuss a few examples. Now, moving forward, what is a letter? A letter is a written message conveyed from one person or a group of people to another through a medium. A letter can be formal or informal depending on its audience and purpose. Now, as I told you that, nowadays we send messages and emails. We do not write letters that much. But there are a lot of places where still letters are being written. Yes, if you visit a bank, if you visit a post office, sometimes they ask you to write letters still. Okay, if you go to your, even if we talk about your schools, there are, a lot of places where you convey the messages using the letters. Now, and the second reason that we have to learn letter writing is that it is very important from the exam point of view. See, format I'm going to teach you. I'm also going to teach you how to write a good body. Body is very necessary even when writing an email. If you have understood how to write the body of a letter, you can use the same to write an email as well. Okay, because further in 11th or 12th, you may have to learn that how to write an email. Now, letter writing, the first and foremost thing is that you have to learn how you have to avoid the mistakes. So today we are going to move stepwise that how we do not have to make mistakes. So you have to look at the board very, you just have to put all your concentration on the board. Now, format of formal letter. How do we write the format? First of all, you have to write the sender's address. Sender's address. See, when I talk about sender's address has to be written in 3 lines. Okay. Today, I'm going to talk that what are the safest ways where you can, save your numbers, where you can save your marks, where the teacher cannot point out at your mistakes. So the best option is to write the address in 3 lines. Usually, a number is given to you, maybe house number is given to you, or any type of number is given to you. You have to write it like this. For example, the house number is 121 block 121 /B. Now you have to write the name of the street, okay, street name, and then you have to mention the name of the city. Okay, then you have to leave a line. Now this is very important. Leave a line. Okay, then you write the date. Now, what is the safest way to write a date? See, when you write the date, you have to write it like this. For example, today is 16 November 2022. 16 November 2022. If the question comes in your exam, you have to write the date of your exam. Okay, the day on which your exam is held, you have to write that date. Now, when you write the date, you have to make sure that you do not have to put any comma or you do not have to put any slash, okay? You have to remember this thing. Do not put any slash, do not put any comma. You just have to write it like this, 16 November 2022. This is wrong, okay? Do not write it like this. Never write it like this, okay? This is completely wrong. Even some students write it like this. This is also wrong. You do not have to use all these three. You just have to write it like this. This is the safest way, where you do not have to, use any comma or any slash. Now, moving further, we'll again leave a line. Okay, LAL here means leave a line. Okay, now moving further, after writing the date, you have to mention the receiver's address. Receiver's address. Again, receiver's address has to be in 3 lines or 4 lines. Okay, do not mention it in 2 lines, because sometimes the students crouch the address. They put commas, a lot of commas. They first write the house number, then they put a comma, then they put the name of the street, then they write the name of the city. Okay, in the second line. Do not do this thing. Just divide the address into 3 or 4 lines. Now, after writing the receiver's address, you again have to leave a line. Then write the subject. Okay, now when you write the subject, write it like this: subject, SUB, then underline. Okay, you have to underline. How do you have to pick up the subject? You pick the subject from the question itself. Pick the subject from the question itself. Then again you leave a line. Okay, again you leave a line. Then you start with sir. Do not write dear sir, dear madam. It's okay if you write dear sir or madam, but the safest way, as I'm telling you, that any teacher can check your paper. Any teacher can check your paper. It's not necessary that your school teacher checks your paper. She can be anyone. Now you have to be safe, because sir is safe. If you write dear, if you write respected, maybe she will not accept it. But sir, if you simply write sir, it is widely accepted by all the teachers. Even this date, if I'm talking about, this date is also the safest option, because this date, nobody can point out a mistake that, okay, she or he has written the date like this, so I'm going to cancel the paper, I'm going to, cut the student's marks. No, that is not going to happen. Okay, now sir, then you write the body. Okay, now when you write the body should be in 3 paragraphs, at least 3 paras. You have to give an appropriate starting. Then you write the exact content, okay, whatever you're trying to convey, your message, and then you have to choose an appropriate ending. Then in the end, what you're going to do, you have to write, what you have to write in the ending, you have to write it like this: yours faithfully. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention, you again have to leave a line. Okay, leave a line, and then in the end you have to write yours faithfully. Yours faithfully. And in the end, you have to mention your name and your designation. If your designation is given in the question paper, then you have to write your designation as well. Okay, yours faithfully, then your name, and in the end, you have to write the designation. Now, when you write yours faithfully, again, when you write yours faithfully, you do not have to put an apostrophe. Okay, you do not have to put an apostrophe. Okay, you do not have to write your faithfully. Okay, and yours, do not put an apostrophe even before S or after S. And you have to learn the spelling of faithfully as well. Okay, the spelling should not be wrong. A lot of students just put a single S in faithfully. That you do not have to do. Just take care of these things. Okay, if you take care of these things, you are going to score full marks in your letter. And that is our objective. Our objective is to score, that teacher doesn't, deduct our marks. We should not make any mistake. So just follow this format. Now, let's move on to the question. Now, I have taken the question from your sample paper. Okay, from your sample paper. Let me mention it here as well, that in the examples, I have taken the example from your sample paper. It's very much necessary that you use you just go through the sample paper if you have never, if you haven't done this till yet, this time. You have to do it, okay? You just go through the sample paper once, because it is very important for you to do that, because sample paper gives you an idea that what kind of question can appear in the exam. So just we are going to pick up one question. You are Sunidhi Prakash, the vice captain of Brilliant Vidyalaya, Bar, Kanpur. You have recently noticed several posters around your school premises conveying the hazardous message. Now a message is given to you. Now the first and foremost thing is that you have been given a name. Name is given to you, vice captain of Brilliant Vidyalaya. Your designation is also given to you. Just pick up the hints from the question. Designation is given to you. Brilliant Vidyalaya, Bar, Kanpur. Brilliant Vidyalaya. Now this is your address. This is the sender's address that is given to you. You have recently noticed several posters around your school premises conveying the hazardous message. Now this message is given to you. Lose weight in just a month. A Wonder Diet comes to your rescue. A privilege available for only a few. Now obviously these kind of advertisements are very misleading. Okay, they are telling you that you can lose your weight in just a month. You have to follow a crash diet or something. They are going to give you a special diet with which you can, lose your weight. Now, you have to write a letter to the editor of the DWA in not more than 120 words, drawing attention to harm caused by such advertising. Propose the implementation of Wholesome Lunch Month in schools as an idea to address such practices, mention the advantages and share suggestions to foster healthy eating routines and develop positive body image among youngsters. Now, whom do you have to write the letter to? You have to write a letter to the DWA. You have to write a letter to the editor. Now this is your receiver's address. Okay, this is your receiver basically, not the address but the receiver. The receiver is the editor and he is the editor of DWA. What do you have to write? You have to draw his attention. You have to draw his attention towards what? Towards the harmful effects of these kind of this misleading advertisement. You have to prove your point. You have to prove your point in the letter, that why is it so harmful for the students and why we should not do this thing. And you even have to give him an idea about Wholesome Lunch Month. Wholesome Lunch Month, obviously. What about Wholesome Lunch Month? Now you have to think in your mind. A little bit you have to think, because these are called creative writing skills, and you can be creative. You have to be creative, and when you have to be creative, you have to think in your mind. You have to just jot down some ideas. When you think about wholesome lunch idea, what does it mean? It means that you have to tell the students that they should bring healthy food from their home at least for a month. When they'll do so, when they'll practice do so, when they're going to do so, they are going to They are going to develop a habit of healthy eating. Now, their parents would be encouraged to give them healthy food, because obviously the school has asked them to do so. Wholesome food means that they have to, bring balanced diet from their houses. They have to bring fruits, they have to bring salads, and they have to bring everything, a lunch packed with proteins and carbs and fats and everything. Okay, so this is going to promote healthy living in them. You'll get this idea when you read the question. Once you get an idea, you just start writing the letter. But do not waste your time. Just think for 2 minutes. Just jot down everything, anything that comes in your mind. The simplest way is, anything that comes in your mind, just jot it down. Okay, and then you are going to write about it. Now, let's look at the answer. See, Brilliant Vidyalaya, Bar, Kanpur. Here, the sender's address is given to you. As we saw in the answer, the sender's address was given to you. So we have just, as it is written, the address. Now, if you look at it carefully, the name of the school is written, Brilliant Vidyalaya. You do not need to add any house number or something, because the name of the school is enough. So they have just written the name of the school, then Bar, then Kanpur, as it was given in the question. Now, they have left a line. After this, they have left a line. Then they wrote the date. As I told you, 29 August 2022. They did not use any comma. They did not put any slash. And this is what you have to do. Again, you have to leave a line. Then is the receiver's address. Now, as we saw in the question, there were only two things given to us. That was the editor and Kanpur. The editor Kanpur was given to us. Now, the address, the imaginary address, an imaginary address is being taken here, K21 Anjanapura, Kanpur. Okay, the name of the street is taken. Now, you may not know the name of the street of Kanpur. You know, are not familiar with the streets of the Kanpur. You do not live in Kanpur. How do you have to do that? You just have to, you know, imagine any name. Any name you can just imagine, any name that comes in your mind. Even you can write the name of your own street there. So it is written K21 Anjanapura. But as I told you that you can also opt for writing K21 here after the DWA. Then you can write Anjanapura and then you can write Kanpur. You can bifurcate, you can, you know, divide this address into 4 lines as well. Now they have left a line again. Then they wrote the subject, need for promoting healthy eating routines. Need for promoting healthy eating routines. Okay, now you have to underline. You have to underline the subject. Here the subject has not been underlined, but you have to underline this thing. Now, dear madam, okay, dear madam has been written here. You have to start it from here. You can simply write madam. Here dear madam is written because I picked up the solution which was given on the internet. Now, why did I do that? I did that because even you will do the same. You are going to pick up the solutions from the Google, or you are going to take any help from outside, but you have to use your brain too. Okay, you can do a certain additions. Okay, now I will also tell you that how you have to be perfect in writing the letters. When writing the format, please follow the instructions that I have given you. Okay, please follow the instructions that I have given you while writing the format. But if you have to choose a body, you can choose any body. Okay, you can choose any body. You can write the body in your own words. You can also take the help of Google. You can also mug up a lot of letters. Now you will tell me that, ma'am, you're asking us to mug up the letters. Is mugging up the right, you know, solution? Because your teachers tell you, because you have been listening from your parents and your teachers that you should not mug up the letters, you should not mug up the creative writing portions. You have to write it in your own language. But I ask you that how are you going to develop a vocabulary? How are you going to write in your own words if you do not have your own words? If you do not have a standard vocabulary with you, how are you going to do that? So, in order to develop a good vocabulary, start mugging up the letters. Start mugging up the starting and openings, the startings, openings, and a good closing. You can also opt for, you know, reading a lot of letters, not basically mugging it up, but you have to keep it in your mind that how you have to, you know, give a perfect start, and then you have to, how you have to end your letter perfectly. For that thing, you can take the help of Google, but not for the formats. For the format, you should follow this video, or either you can follow the format that your school teacher has told you. She may have given you a very good, you know, format. You can follow her format as well and my format as well. Now, let's look at the body. It is written, this is with reference to the posters bearing the message of crash diet being posted around our school premises. Such posters impact the youngsters negatively and can be hazardous for their self-esteem. Now, this is with reference to, this is how you have to start the letters. Okay, this is with reference to, or how you can start the, this is with reference to. This is to bring to your notice. This is to bring to your notice. This is another way of starting the letters. Okay, this is another opening which is widely accepted. This is to bring to your notice that posters bearing the message of crash diet being posted around our school. Now, such posters impact the youngsters. Now, they have used a very good language here. I would like to propose the idea of implementing Wholesome Lunch Month, as it is written in the question itself. Wholesome Lunch Month for all school students to counter the implications of such misleading advertisement. She is also giving the reasons that why wholesome lunch should be adopted. Okay, if you are very good with your vocabulary, you can do that thing. But if you're not very perfect with your vocabulary, you can just simply write that yes, wholesome lunch should be a wholesome lunch month should be implemented in the schools, and you can give a simple reason. But here the reason has been, explained very well. This initiative is sure to encourage all students to bring nutritious and healthy lunch daily and develop healthy eating routines. Obviously, when the students will start bringing, good lunch, they are going to develop a habit of bringing it daily, and they'll also, eat healthy, and that can make their minds healthy. To ensure that this project gains strength, schools may organize puppet shows. She has given the, Sunidhi Prakash even has given the solutions that how we can implement it. We can implement it through puppet shows, street plays, TED Talks by nutritionists and psychologists, encompassing the theme to foster healthy eating routines and a positive body image. Now, if we look at this body, this is a wonderful body. The, choice of words is excellent. How you can develop this kind of words? If you're very perfect in writing, if your writing skills are very good, you can also write a letter like this. But if you do not have such a good vocabulary, please beta, I insist you that you should start reading. You should start reading the examples of the letters given in your specimen books. You can take the help of the sample paper booklets that are given to you from your schools. You can take the help of the any books that are ready with you. Even you can take the help of the Google. But as I told you, just take the help of Google for the body, but not the format, because there the format is not perfect. Okay, the format can be wrong, that may not be accepted in India, or the format can be of anywhere. Now, I hope that the publishing of my letter in the columns of your renowned daily helps spread awareness and promotes a healthy lifestyle among students. Now, if we look at the ending, I hope that the publishing of my letter in the columns of your renowned daily, this is a perfect, closing. This is a perfect closing. Whenever you are writing a letter to the editor, you have to tell that, you want that this article should be published in the newspaper. You will be very happy when your, suggestions, when your article will get a place in the newspapers. I'll be highly obliged. I would be very thankful to you if you publish my article in your renowned daily. Okay, in the columns of your renowned daily. So this is the way that you have to end the letters of what? Whenever you're writing a letter to the editor. Now, helps spread awareness. Now, this is related to the question. Helps spread awareness and promotes a healthy lifestyle among students. Now, as we saw, the body was in 3 paragraphs. Okay, when you write the body in three paragraphs, you start very well, and you end it very well, and you write the main problem in the second paragraph, you are going to get the full marks. Then in the end, yours truly is written, but it would be more safer. It would be safer if you write yours faithfully. Then the name is given, and in the end, the designation is given to you. So if you follow this thing, you are going to get good marks. Okay, now let's move on to the second question that is in your sample paper booklet. You are Zach Skyra, a resident of #412 Magna Green Apartments, Gandhi Marg, Jaunpara, Mumbai. 3 students of grade 10 from your residential complex have rescued and rehabilitated a few old beggars from the neighborhood. You think that their work deserves appreciation and recognition. Write a letter to the president of the RWA seeking recommendations for these youth to be nominated for the Serving Citizens Award. Suggest other ways such acts of kindness could be recognized and awarded in the future. Now, what I did, I just started reading the whole question. You do not have to do that thing. When you start writing, reading the question, you are Zach Skyra. Name. You just have to look for the solution. Name is given. Then you see you are a resident of #412 Magna Green Apartments. Okay. The sender's address is mentioned in the question. Then Gandhi Marg, Jaunpara, Mumbai. Okay. A big address is there. 3 students of grade 10 from your residential complex have been rescued and rehabilitated. Now, This is the thing that is given to you. Okay, the problem is given to you. Now this is not related to school. You're not writing to any school. You're not writing to the editor. But whom you're writing? You are writing a letter to the president of RWA. He is your receiver. Okay, and you're asking for recommendations for these youth to be nominated for Serving Citizens Award. So many things are given to you. Okay, you have to suggest other ways that these kinds of things should be recognized and awarded in the future. Now whatever comes to your mind after reading this kind of question, you just write it down. You just take 2 minutes. You just take not even 2 minutes. You just take a minute and you just start writing anything that comes in your mind related to the topic. Then you start writing it. 421 Magna Green Apartments, Gandhi Marg, Jaunpara, Mumbai. Now they have written the address in 3 lines. You can do what? You can just write the house number in the starting, 421. Then you can write Magna Green Apartments. But even if you do that, okay, that's okay. Now again, leave a line. Leave a line. Then date is given. Then again, you have to leave a line. Then the president, RMW, Magna Green Apartments, 42 Gandhi Marg, Jaunpara, Mumbai. Obviously, you are writing a letter to the RWA, that is Residential Welfare Association. You must know these, full forms. RWA is Resident Welfare Association. And when you're writing to the Welfare Association, that is of your apartment only. Your RWA is part of your society only. So this thing you must know, because if you're writing RWA and you're writing any other address, you're writing the address of any other street in Mumbai, then you may not get full marks in your paper. So you have to be very sure about it. RMW is written here. Okay, RMW Magna Green Apartments. Magna Green Apartments should come here. Now subject, they have written subject, but as I told you that you have to underline the subject, then you have to leave a line. Then dear sir is given to you. This is with reference to the empathetic social service done by Miss Jia, Master Advait and Master Pranit, residents of our complex. Now what did they do? It was written that 3 students of grade 10, but they have also taken the liberty of naming the 3 students. Okay, you can also do the same. If you have to increase the number of words, you can write the name of the children as well. Obviously, in this case, it is necessary because we have to felicitate these 3 students. In rescuing and rehabilitating a few beggars from our neighborhood, these students ensured that beggars were rehabilitated at Seva Sadan, an NGO which takes care of the needy of our city. Now, if you look at the question, your was given to you. Your residential complex. But in the answer, while writing the answer, you have to write our residential complex, because they are instructing you to do something. But when you are doing the same thing, you have to, change it to the first person. As I told you, while solving the comprehension passages, that you have to write R. You have to write it in the first first person. It is given in the second person, but you have to write it in the first person. So you have to do it in this case also. You have to write our neighborhood, an NGO which takes care of the needy of our city. This selfless initiative carried out with dedication and responsibility deserves due recognition. I therefore request you to issue a letter of recommendation for these students to be nominated for Serving Citizens Award organized by the local municipal corporation. Now this thing was given in the question itself. But what are you asking for? You're asking for these students to be nominated for Serving Citizens Award. Now you're also giving an idea that how you can increase this practice. I would also like to submit that the RWA set up a special committee. She is asking, sorry, Zaxkaria, the person is asking to issue a special committee that looks into such acts in the future. This would dedicate attention and appropriate screening of nominations. Arrangement of academic sponsorships for such children would also be an encouraging gesture, as we saw in the question. What did she do? she also gave the reason that why such things should be done. Such things should be done to, so that these things increase. Okay, so that the students are motivated to do such things. Okay, obviously you have to give the reason also, that why such acts should be done, why the students should get sponsorship, why should they be awarded and felicitated by the society. This is because so that the number of cases increase, so that more and more people are involved in such acts. But as I told you, that this type of answer is very good. If you write such an answer in your answer paper, you are going to get full marks. But even if you do not have such a good vocabulary, you just have to take care of one thing, that your format should be perfect. You should not make mistake while writing the format. And the other thing that you have to take care is that you do not have to make any grammatical mistakes. Do not make any grammatical mistakes. And leaving a line. Why is leaving a line so important? Leaving a line is so much important because when you're writing the English paper, you write so much. And if you, create a hodgepodge in your answer sheet, if you just write everything like that, it's not going to be neat. Okay, it's not going to appear neat. While writing the English paper, you also have to concentrate on your handwriting. You also have to concentrate on the neatness of your answer sheet, because if your answer sheet is neat enough, then only you are going to get full marks in the exam. Okay, neatness is also very important while attempting the English paper. If I tell you the psychology of your examiner, of your the checker of your paper, they focus on this thing, that at least it should be neat. Because there are different types of teachers are there, students are there. Some have a very good handwriting and some are not able to write properly. They do not have a very good handwriting, and we do not have that much time to improve our handwriting at this point. But what we can try to write it neatly. We can try that our paper appears to be very neat and tidy. So for that thing, leaving a line is very important, even when you're writing the answers. Even when you're writing the answers of the other questions, even if you're attempting section A or section C, then also you have to leave a line after everything, after every answer that you write. Okay, so this is how you have to attempt the paper. I told you about the neatness and tidiness of your paper, how you have to maintain it. Okay, now let's move further. Okay, here, okay, one point more that I forgot to tell you. See, for example, you have started section C. Let me take another paper. For example, you were solving section C. Okay, and you wrote an answer here. Okay, you have written an answer here. Now half page is left. Only half of the page is left. You do not have to continue the letter from here. Do not write the letter from this paper. Do not write the letter. Do not start the letter if anything is written on this paper. Always, for writing a letter, take a fresh paper. Take a fresh page. Take a page where nothing is written and then start your letter. This way, the letter will start and will end in the same page. Okay, you have to take care of this thing. Just try that you start and you end your letter on the same sheet. This will also, change the psychology of your teacher. This is also going to impress your teacher, and that is the main point while solving the, while giving the board exams, that you have to impress your teacher. So this is another way of doing that. Okay. Now, as I told you, that you have to pick up the answers, you have to pick up a few examples from the Google. Now, this was also a question which was given in the Google. This was question which was given in any website, and I picked it up from there. It is written, write a letter to the police commissioner of your city drawing his or her attention to the menace of hawkers outside your school. Tell him or her what dangers they pose and offer solutions for the rehabilitation. Now, as I told you that you have to mug up a few letters. As I just told you that you have to take care of the opening and the closing, and you can take a few examples. You can, start building your vocabulary. Okay, and by listening to me, you picked up a question from the, from any website, and this type of question appears in front of you. Now, this is a solution. Let's look at the solution. Flat 236, Block C, Hillcrest View Apartments, Salem Street, Kunur 26. Now, let's find out the mistakes. Find out the mistakes in this kind of question, this kind of answer, this kind of solution that is given in the Google. Now, as we saw here, first of all, they did not leave a line. No line left after sender's address. Okay, there was no line left. If we look at the date, date is not proper. Date is also not proper. They have written 23rd February, 2018. This is not an appropriate way of writing the date. If you have to write this date only, you have to write it like this, 23 Feb 2018, without using any commas, without using any slashes, without using the cardinal or ordinal numbers. They have used the ordinal number 23rd. You just have to use the cardinal number, and that is 23, not 23rd. Now, okay, the receiver's address is given to you. Okay, we can accept this receiver's address. Now, the major thing, subject is missing. They haven't written a subject. I am telling you all these things because students are often confused. Students, when they, pick up a question from the Google, they just tell me that, okay, ma'am, we saw an example on Google, we just picked it up from any random website, and, subject was not written there. And I think that subject is not written these days. Has the format changed? Has the things changed now? No. They haven't changed. You have to follow the same format that is given to you. Here, subject is missing. Here, they haven't left lines. It is not appearing to be very beautiful. So you have to take care of these things. I write to draw your attention to the menace of hawkers outside St. Paul's School in Nehru Nagar of our town. I am the secretary, Swachh Bharat Club, St. Paul's School. The hawkers sell open food and cheap toys. A number of our school students cluster around them, and the lane in front of our school is blocked, dirty and congested. Now, if you read the body is decent. The body is okay. The body is okay. Body is okay. Body is fine. You can pick up the body. You can read the body. You can, pick up several lines from here. You can pick up the starting from here. You can pick up the closing from here, because the, students have different thoughts. Some of the students may think that this kind of starting or this kind of closing is simple, and the teacher, starting, the closing and ending, starting and closing that teacher has given to us, it's very difficult for us to learn. It is very difficult for us to mug up. So you can pick up this thing, but you do not have to pick up this kind of format. Yours faithfully / yours truly, Santosh Haldar, they have written. Okay, this is also acceptable, but what is wrong here? What is wrong here? While writing the subscription, there is something wrong here. You have to tell me in the comment section that what is wrong here. What kind of mistakes you do not have to repeat. You do not have to make such mistakes. That is why I'm telling you all these things. Okay, so I hope that you understood that how you have to write a letter, how you have to be perfect in writing the letter. You have to, get full marks while writing the format follow this format or follow the format of your school teacher, and then, you know, start building your vocabulary by reading a lot of letters, by learning a lot of letters, by picking up a, you know, appropriate opening line and an appropriate closing line, and then, you know, you're ready to go. You're perfect, you're ready to give your board exams, and you are ready to score full marks in your letter. Okay, I hope you understood everything. If you did not understand anything, you can mention in the comments below and you can let me know, so that we can pick up, you know, this topic again. Okay, chalo. Now let's meet in the next class. Till then, bye bye. Take care.